Okay, today let's talk about Chelsea. The performance yesterday from that Chelsea Crystal Palace match was not up to the standard, the fans were expecting. From the Club World Cup down to the preseason matches we watched, the performance kind of dropped in the Premier League. Well, I know the tempo in Premier League is usually not the same tempo in other league. The Premier League is a very competitive league. So, but we were expecting a more high, start performance from the Chelsea players. If you look at the midfield, Caicedo was only the one that actually put in the real work in that yesterday in the match. Enzo Fernandez was some way out of the game, I would say. The marking, the passes, coming around to collect the ball and stuff. He was not that inside or that involved in the game. Also, that eventually affected Palmer also. Palmer was not much in the game like that. 0 shot on target, 0 assists, His touches were few, and that was not Palmer we know. Palmer we know is always around the ball, always, controlling the midfield and stuff. But usually in games where the other team, that's the opposition team, is playing a block defense, that's how it is. They are playing a block defense. If you are a team that presses through the midfield, it will be difficult for you to, access them because they are marking man to man or 2-man to 1 player. And then if your midfielders or if your defenders are not confident in launching a long ball against a wing that is open, that's the vulnerable part of the wing that is open, you see, then you definitely have problem moving ball around, to get to your attackers. Though Chelsea played a very good game, I was some way satisfied with what they played. They didn't lose. It was a draw against Crystal Palace. And if you look at this Crystal Palace we played, this Crystal Palace were the same Crystal Palace that played FA Cup last season. The same Crystal Palace that played Community Shield early this season, before the season kick off against Liverpool. And if you watch, they were more threatening against Liverpool than Chelsea. Yes, they had few chances against Chelsea. They had more shot on target against Chelsea. But the ability to come out against Liverpool was not the same shown in the match against Chelsea. They were a little bit reluctant to come out. Why? Because they know Chelsea have the more dangerous players to cause more damage to them. So they played a very smart game, hold in and then counter attack. And it was a good performance from the both teams. But it's just that Maresca need to work on, how to break down defensive teams that are playing block defending. A team that are playing block defending, now Maresca need to work away on how to, play them. Because if not, if we find many small teams in Premier League, sorry for using small, average teams in Premier League playing block defense, then it's definitely going to be a problem for Chelsea this season. So Chelsea need to work on. And then the introduction of the Estaval, Santos in the midfield, and, it was a good substitution. And also Delap came in, he showed he's a good player to, to compete for that position. It was a good performance though, but the match ended up draw, which was not a bad result because we knew the Crystal Palace we played were not Crystal Palace that we normally played before. This Crystal Palace is different. It's a well-upgraded version of the old Crystal Palace. So it was a good game. And I applaud the players, but they just need to work more. And let's talk about our defensive line. Defensive line from first half, it was shaking, but later on, it's like Achimpong picked up his confidence, and then he started playing more better. So for now, I still believe Achimpong can cover that space till we find a new player to replace the central back. Achimpong is good to go. He's good. He has shown for him to be able to mark Mateta. You know how physical and strong Mateta is. And Achimpong was able to, hold his ground against him. So I believe that boy is actually stepping up and he should be given more minutes in the Chelsea defense line to play. So it's a good performance generally from Chelsea. I appreciate the fact that Maresca is trying the options he has in his bench. He's not just going all out scared to go and start bringing players. Though he's still going to bring more players. Yes, it's normal. But he's confident in playing them in matches is what I really appreciate about Maresca. So I just hope our next match we will improve more in the gameplay and then score more goals because all our shots were not on target. We played 19 shots, but majority of the shots were going off target. It was only 3 I think we got on target. So I think Chelsea need to work more on that. And they are in a haste, somewhere in a haste to score goal. They are not relaxed. That was why they were just ballooning the ball, like playing high post, goal kick. They were not settled. They were settled like Santos, the 9-minute chance that was given to him. If he was settled there, he would have scored a good goal. But he was in a haste and he ballooned the ball over the bar. So let's wait and see what we'll play in the next match.